G'day Internet, it's the 15th of May 2026. It's another glorious, beautiful morning. I'm going to be a little bit slow. I might stop every now and then because I'm walking with the dog. Why not, yeah? My name is George. Welcome to today's message of hope. All right. Oh, the dog is doing his own thing at the moment. Well, I had a sling on my left arm that day. Working the retail side of a pawn shop, the dog's pretty reactive. And I wasn't at my sharpest because I had a sling on my left arm, right? And a teenage girl came in with an accomplice. Now, I wasn't alert, not immediately, but by the time I understood what was happening, yeah, the phone was already gone, the iPhone. 2 of them. My instinct was to chase her, which I did. Now, I didn't catch her. Of course, the phone wasn't recovered, and the store absorbed the loss. Yeah, a few days later, I found myself sitting across a table from 3 people. My direct manager, his manager, which is the region manager, and of course the HR manager. Now, the HR manager said something I haven't fully forgotten. Words to the effect of, he didn't want to knock on a door, my door, at my home one day and explain that I wasn't coming home. That is, I got shot dead. Now, I heard that, I understood what he meant, yes, towing the party line. But of course I disagreed. I'm not going to come back to why. Looking back at that case, I was angry at that girl. Yeah, genuinely, specifically angry. She should have been at home, doing her homework, helping out around the house. But instead, she chose to walk in with a plan and a partner. Must be her school friend. Sized up a man with one arm in a sling and made her move. And when she ran out the door, she smirked. I know, because I chased her, remember? I thought about that smirk more times than makes any logical sense. Hey, where do you think you're going? Come this way. This was already before the pandemic and the pattern was already clear. Crime was rising. You see, a jewelry store not far from where I worked was robbed around the same time. Well, maybe a week or 2 before that, I can't remember. And I can tell you, from my opinion, in Melbourne, we've watched that pattern grow into something that fills court dockets with teenagers. We hear bail hearings for crimes that are genuinely hard to read about because it's all over the news. It's almost every day. But the instinct, and it's not an ignorable instinct, is to hand these kids to courts and move on. Yes? But a question settled over me. Where does the smirk on that face come from? The one on that girl. Not a rhetorical question, but it's not answered. It's just there, right? Where did it come from? What was she thinking of? Well, have a listen to this. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6. Train up a child in a way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. And that's a promise. I want you to hear what kind of promise it is, okay? Because it works in both directions. Now, a child trained in wisdom, in honesty, and in habit of generosity, that formation stays. So when he's old, it's still there, deep buried, cemented in his heart. The verse promises it. But the formation is formation, isn't it? A child trained by the street carries that too. A child trained by an accomplice, by whoever showed up, by whoever chose not to, oh, doggy, come on, carries that instead. The verse doesn't promise only good outcomes, right? It describes how human beings actually work. Because we are shaped by what we are given when we are young. By who chose us. By who called us when we were already walking away. Nobody arrives at a smirk from us somewhere. Now, I want to return to the HR manager's concern. Because he wasn't wrong to be worried. He's trying to do his job, yes. Well, fear of a bad outcome is not cowardice. It's just human. I understood it. But here's what I couldn't let go of. Because if fear is the governing instinct, the default setting for every hard situation, then I'm pretty sure men wouldn't have gone to the moon. Women in the worst moments of labor wouldn't have pushed through. And certainly Jesus doesn't walk to the cross because it was painful and he feared. He certainly had a lot of fear, but he didn't let fear conquer him. No, he turns it around and he saved us. Every one of us who's lost, if we're willing to accept that gift. That's not recklessness, is it? That's a different kind of courage entirely. It's the courage of choosing the harder thing because something matters more than the risk. And when it comes to the next generation, hey, looks like the difficult ones, the ones who smirk, the ones who's already taken something from you, fear says withdraw. Wisdom asks a different direction. If what I'm talking about today is landing for you, please help me do me a favor. Do subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up to this video and share it with your friends and families. Now I'm sitting at 44 subscribers. There's about 2 days left before the end of the week. My personal goal is to hit 50. Love it if you can help out. Please subscribe. Okay, back to the story. So let me tell you about December 1980. I was definitely a kid. Maybe 11 or 12. No, couldn't have been 12. No way. I was hanging around the street in my suburb, okay? Because in Melbourne, December it's summer. Now the council had put Santa Claus out. Of course, they paid him to stand there and hand out candies to children. I went up to him. He asked me how many siblings I had. I told him the truth, and he looked shocked as a response. I walked away with more than 2 pieces of candy. I wasn't lying. I told him exactly how many siblings I had, and that number surprised him enough that he opened his hand wider than usual. Hey, a lot of candies all to myself. I wasn't lying. Except my brothers and sisters were a lot older and they weren't interested in candies. Now, I still have that memory. That's more than 40 years ago. So a man in a red suit on a suburban street looked at a child, heard what the child said, believed him, and chose generosity because of it. Yeah. It cost him almost nothing except his time. I've never forgotten that moment. It was such a happy day. Now, I came across a story recently from a woman in Massachusetts, of course in the United States. Madison Sivanoli, I think that's how you pronounce it. Well, she ran an ice cream truck and called Maddie's Ice Cream, and more in a town called Gardiner. Now, a little boy came to her with no money, you see. So her cousin told her, hey, he has no dollars. The boy had already started crying as he walked away. Yeah, I know that feeling. I'll go and tell a story another day, maybe. Now, her response was immediate. She said, bring him back. So she made him a scoop. Whipped cream, hey, colorful sprinkles. And she told him, no money, yeah, no problemo. Because kindness is always free. Buddy, you can always come up to the ice cream truck. Now someone filmed it. And you can guess 8.6 million people watched it. Donations came in from Denmark, from Australia, from strangers. We're talking about strangers, right? From strangers who saw something in that 30-second video and they recognized it and couldn't walk past it. So many people send money that now every child who comes to a truck gets a free scoop. How's that for people power, hey? She has 3 daughters. She said she was thinking about them when she made that choice. She wants them to see her kindness and learn to pay it forward. Ice cream trucks are childhood and nostalgia, she said. People remember the ice cream truck. Yep. In Australia, they're called Mr. Whippy. I can confirm that. Except mine was a Santa on a street corner in 1980. And it was candy, not ice cream, but it doesn't matter. Just that the details I remember most is the shocked look on his face before he gave me more than I expected. So here's the question I've been sitting with since I heard Maddie's story. Does anyone ever do that for her? Yeah, the kindness the lady has. The girl with the smirk, yeah, the thief, I'm going to say, the one who ran, I don't know where she came from or who was home when she got there. I don't know whether anyone ever called her back to her window, made something for her with whipped cream and sprinkles, told her she was always welcome. I'll be blunt, the anger was real. Because it hurts, right? The phone was gone, affected my KPIs. The warning letter was real. I'm not undoing any of that, but that question, my friends, there are young people at the edge of the intention right now. Not just your own children, what about the ones in the streets, even in your church, especially your neighborhood, the ones who are easy to overlook because they're difficult or because they're tired, or because something they already did made you want to move them to the too hard basket and get on with your day. I'm guilty of that too, guys, all right? I've been guilty in the past. So what are you depositing when one of them is actually standing in front of you? If you knew it. Because Proverbs 22 says it stays. Whatever goes in, it stays. Even when they're old. Hey, the Santa looked shocked and gave more than expected, and a stranger on the street in 1980, it cost him perhaps 3 extra pieces, actually more than that. And I carry it for more than 40 years. Now, I don't know who is going to be in front of you this week. Maybe a grandchild, a neighbor's kid, teenager at your neighborhood whose attention looks troubled. It may well be true, but I keep thinking about the boy at the ice cream truck, the one who was walking away crying, the one who got called back. What do you remember? What do you think he'll remember when he's 40, do you think? All right. Thanks, guys, for being with me. I really appreciate the sunshine. Oh no, a dog's coming past. I better run the other direction. My dog's very reactive. All right. See you in the next one. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.